Masai Mara. The name itself sounds inviting, but why exactly did we decide to come to the Mara? I wouldn't tell much for my friends, but for myself, this was a trip of realization. Our journey starts in the heart of a rainy Nairobi, where we had the previous day taken a tour around a rather laid-back city center, waking from the Easter holidays. We are leaving our cozy accommodation in the lavish neighborhood of Kilimani, driving westward, heading into the wilderness of the Maasai. En route, the dreamy landscapes in this part of Kenya are seemingly an eternal wonder. Before we go further into the Mara, if you're new here, thank you for watching this video. I am Dan Around, a travel and documentary filmmaker sharing my travel stories and experiences, portraying the culture and beauty of Africa to the world. I invite you to come along on this journey and explore with me by subscribing to this channel, liking and sharing the content on here. Masai Mara National Reserve is one of the largest game reserves in Kenya, one of, if not the greatest in Africa, and it is named in honor of the ancestral inhabitants of the area, the pastoral Maasai people. Known by the locals as the Mara, this land is a perennial home to a breathtaking array of wildlife. The very reason we confidently journey here in the low tourism season, trusting to be awestruck. On this warm afternoon, we arrive at the gates of the Mara, and guess what? A group of women are welcoming us, telling us random stories and trying to sell to us their artworks. It is from here that we instantly feel the embrace of the Maasai people. From the very entrance, we start to feel the spirit of safari. One of us, Mehdi, is a tour guide and operator and has traversed these plains severally. So he will take us around for the evening game drive.
Welcome to Masai Mara National Reserve, located in central Kenya, and we just entered in for the evening sunset safari.
While out here, it feels like we are paddocked among wildlife. It isn't hard to find high concentrations of different animal species every few kilometers. Even when we have seen much on this evening, lions remain top priority on everyone's safari wish list. A fleet of safari vehicles in the distance is telling, so we drive there. We find two lions here and they are lazing in the tall savanna grasses. Not a sight befitting our expectations. We by now know too well that for the next day's adventures, we need to reserve the services of a local expert guide. By this time, everyone is swamped from a long day of travel, so we drive out of the National Reserve through the Talek Gate, crossing the Talek River and into the Talek community where we'll spend our nights at a campsite. I knew for a fact that our second day here was going to be the busiest. 6:30 a.m. we were in our jeeps headed for the Talek Gate entrance. The atmosphere in the savannas was already giving me good feelings about the day that lay ahead of us. We saw a couple of hot air balloons lifting off, animals waking to the new day. What was different this time was that we had the company of Edward, popularly known as Lion or Simba, for his great luck finding predators.
So you make sure you look seriously. Okay. Maybe to find something.
Before 7 a.m., he receives information of a pride enjoying its kill. On our way there, we meet the leader of the pride a distance away, purportedly chasing another male from his territory. Further ahead at the scene, we witness a feast surrounded by jeeps with seemingly curious and intent people. Also in the vicinity are the very daring hyenas waiting to scavenge on what remains of the king's feast, but they can't risk it. They are greatly outnumbered by the lions. By 8 a.m. we have had enough of this mesmerizing sighting and are looking for another exciting scene. I find out here that a string of cars rushedly driving to a particular direction is a cue to action. And indeed, after following one, we find another pride of lions, almost feeling like a fresh experience. This pride, we are told, seems not to have had a meal in a while and is looking to hunt. But the longer we stay there in the hope of watching the lions hunt, the thinner our hopes of actually seeing it fade.
Breakfast time.
Lolit.
Everything here.
Mid-morning, we head to a section of the Mara River, a popular spot for witnessing the great wildebeest migration, which has secured it as one of the several natural wonders of the world, but also which we can only be told stories about in this season of the year.
So now these places for crossing, animal crossing, July, August, 13, 16 already here. So everywhere black, and also many car, many tourists also, many complaining, don't go like this, don't stop like this, yeah. So the many action. So after cross the river, so people see many things about crocodile killing like gnu, and also the lion come up or leopard. So it crossing Mara Triangle. So the other side Mara Triangle, this side Narok side. So they come from Serengeti. So Serengeti not far from here. So just come direction and they go Serena. After finish the grasses, they come back. This animal, he don't like he don't like to find the way or good way. So he crossing everywhere. So okay, after finish the grasses, like in November, September, you move by slowly. But okay, there's still the rain here. You know, you follow the rain, and you follow also fresh grasses and fresh water. Serengeti is still dry. You come earlier, like May, already here, maybe 6 May or 5 May already here, or 6 June already here, Masai Mara. Maybe after here, you see the hill, like lookout, night view for photo, for few or people, or yeah. And then after, to find maybe another lion cub or maybe leopard. So I don't promise you, but you see already.
From my understanding, the Masai Mara and Serengeti are one mass of land with similar characteristics and only divided by the international borders of Kenya and Tanzania. On our afternoon detour, we visit the invisible boundaries, only denoted by concrete pillars, sticks, and a signpost. Late afternoon, we are on a desperate search for cheetahs that our guide Simba has promised us. We reach a thicket where they are thought to be, but not a far is seen. The boys on this afternoon don't want to feel at loss. They indulge with the power of their beastly 4x4s. Little do they know that the exercise from this light moment will soon earn them heroics in the middle of the Mara. On our drive back to camp, we find a long Land Cruiser stuck in the middle of a mud puddle, and our guys are up for the task. For minutes on end, our first safari jeep attempts the rescue, but with little success and a snapping cable that luckily doesn't hurt anyone. Later, we attempt with our second jeep, which almost effortlessly pulls out the Land Cruiser, much to the excitement of everyone.
Yeah, 4x4.
So we were just here trying to help one of the safari cars, because we as safari people, we are always friends. So they got stuck. We found our way out, because for us, no road, no problem. We are the 4x4 kings. And we got him out.
Yo.
Yeah, man.
And maybe from this act of kindness is the blessing we've needed to find cheetahs very early the next morning. We retire with the rains, we wake up to the rains, and our goal remains cheetahs. 7:55 a.m., exactly half an hour after our entry into the park, we find a solitary adult cheetah, a good sign that indeed we were blessed the previous day. After this sighting, there is an inexplicable sense of contentment in everyone, so we decide for the rest of the day to wander to wherever the wind blows us. Nature is the single one thing we have no domination over, and full of its own surprises. On our drive, we stumble upon a collision. A mother and her 4 fairly grown cubs. We haven't seen the entirety of the Big Five here, not even the many other animals we read are in this reserve. Maybe another few days here would guarantee that, but for this adventure, we are full. Prior to the establishment of Masai Mara National Reserve in 1961, the Maasai people were forced out of their native land but still stay in its vicinity and play a big part in the conservation efforts here. We briefly visit one of their manyatas and are warmly welcomed by some of their younger generation leaders.
Our conservation, they don't give us to kill. And also as Maasai, we come to believe that the lion is a part of our income as Maasai. So we are not killing the lion now.
The full extent of their life and role here is another whole story for another day. Later evening, and what would be our last night in Masai Mara, we set up for our dinner and campfire from where we reminisce our trip to this great part of the world. So much has been sold to us about the great place Masai Mara is. We are travelers, photographers and videographers who are looking out for the best experiences there is, who are passionate about stories of people, places, the wildlife and conservation. And more importantly, we are people who are curious enough to want to experience firsthand the encounters that are only told to us in writings and videos. From my experience, and probably everyone else's on this trip, the Masai Mara is most of the great things that have been told about it, and even more.